Hell yeah. That's sweet, man. Yeah, douchebag. See you, man. Oh, what? Oh, that was close one. Too fast. Oh, fuck. What if you could talk to animals, but that would get you almost killed by a demon? Would you take that chance? We're going to talk about all that and more in today's reaction and review of Black Torch Episode 1. What is up? Welcome back. My name is Mark, and today we have a lot to talk about, but as always, if you want to see the reaction to the episode, you can check it out on Patreon in the description down below. If the previews that you saw weren't enough for you, which they probably aren't, I recommend you check out the reaction, then come back here for the review. Or check out the review first, then come to check out the reaction. It's all up to you. You get a shout out, you get exclusives, do all that good jazz. And of course, like and subscribe, the notification bell, hype the video, you do all up. And with that said, if you're new here, strap in. If you've been here before, you know what to do. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, grab your notebooks, because I took a lot of notes this time. And let's talk about the episode. So, this episode starts out with us meeting the main character, Jiro. He can talk to animals, as we learn, because he's being comforted after being bullied and getting into a fight. He can talk to animals, and we learn that he can talk to animals because he's getting bullied, and apparently some kids were mean and called him the weirdo animal whisperer. And so he's talking to someone who had a woman's voice, and I assumed it was probably like a grandmother, because that seems like the kind of like vibe that this was going at. But turns out he's talking to his dog, Nachi. And yeah, fair enough, man. That caught me off guard. And so that was cool, seeing him talk to his dog like that. I do think the ability to talk to animals is an interesting ability. I have thoughts about that, but I'm gonna save that for later. And just a little thing right there, like to build up some plot as to like some context as to everything. But then moving on to the present day, Jiro is now a teenager, I think, a high schooler, I'm guessing, and he saved a cat and bird from some delinquents, and he called like one or two of them pricks, because they're like they stand behind some bigger prick, and so it's just really funny to me. And he saved the cat and bird, and they're cool too. And I just think Jiro's a pretty cool dude, man. I don't have much to say. He did easily defeat them, but one of the reasons we learn is because he's been taught the art of the shinobi, because I'm assuming his grandfather is like a tried and true shinobi, I guess, or like at least knows the teachings of one, and he's been teaching him the art of the shinobi. And we also learn that his last name is Azuma, and that the Azuma family received an ancient and honorable blade from the shogun himself, which is pretty cool, because he's showing that off to the grandson Jiro, and that was pretty cool. And but Azuma doesn't think there's any like point in it, really. He thinks it's more like a just an old man tradition type thing, I guess. And but he is learning, which honestly, props to him that he's actually like continuing to like taking the teachings at least. But after that, a bird shows up. I'm pretty sure it's the same bird actually, who is like, "Yo, we found an injured cat in the woods," and so he just follows the talking bird, or the bird that he can talk to. And it's kind of funny if you think about it. Like, bro just follows a random bird that he happens to be able to talk to. And we find a injured black cat whose name is Rago, presumably. He's also, I wrote poor kitty because I like cats, man. I'm a cat person. I have 2 cats of my own, and I just love cats, man. And but we're getting a little bit like backstory, kind of in like a roundabout way for Rago. He basically says that he doesn't take orders from anyone, and someone wanted to wake him up and use his powers. Wanted him to wake up and use his powers for them, which mysterious. I have no idea what the power. I didn't know what the powers were, and I still kind of don't, in a way. Like, it's complicated. But anyways, Rago wakes up, and we get the classic, like, what you could imagine happens. He starts talking, calls Jiro an idiot because Jiro's trying to talk to him. He doesn't know that Jiro can understand him, but Jiro knows that he can understand him. And so, like, he confirms that he did in fact hear him say, "An idiot, huh?" And that did surprise Rago. He's suspicious because Jiro understands him, which, to be fair, is very valid. And eventually, though, he's hiding, but eventually he's lured out by Jiro with food, which honestly, valid. And Rago finally tells us his name. We knew his name was Rago, but Jin didn't. But he tells Jin his name is Rago and that he is an immortal, a Mononoke, which pretty cool. Don't know much about Mononokes, but they're like supernatural entities, I guess, in a way, supernatural beings. Give me 1 minute. Just checking. Okay, I gotta hurry this up because my phone is almost dead. And so we learn that Mononoke will take human or animal form and essentially coexist with no one being the wiser. And then some will even hide in solitude and like deep in the mountains or forests. Also, the episode title is "The Future is in Our Hands." Pretty cool title. Meanwhile, moving on. We learn. We learned from Rago that he was attacked by other Mononoke. He was asleep for a very long time, but was unfortunately woken up. And he was also surrounded, and they wanted his assistance because, why not? Because he has powers, apparently he's really strong. But he didn't want to take orders from them, and then he also called them basically this in a similar vein to like what Jiro said about little pricks, like being hiding behind big pricks. That's basically what he says in his own way. And I wrote down that he and Jiro think alike. It's kind of funny if you think about it. And they both hate I wrote down they both hate people who act like big shots but hide behind others. And Jiro believes Rago for the most part, because Rago's like, "You don't believe me, do you?" But then Jiro's like, "No, I believe you. Besides, I can talk to animals." What more is there? Which honestly, valid. Meanwhile, at another point in the woods where Rago's body was found, some girl is there. He's like, Kishimojin. She reports to Kishimojin headquarters, I'm guessing, that she found Rago's blood, but she is told to pull back and like regroup. Meanwhile, but then she's grumbling about how she could handle it herself, and there's just something off about her at that moment that I just didn't like her, and I couldn't quite explain it, but now I can definitely explain it at the end. But meanwhile, as she's walking away, she disappears, which kind of cool. Well, disappears a stretch. It's more like she probably just goes invisible, if I had to guess. And but a suspicious guy was watching, and so fair enough. Meanwhile, back to Jiro and them. Rago is being bathed by Jiro, and we learn that Rago heals up fast, which not surprising. And then we get to learn more about Jiro and Nachi. Basically, he tells Rago about Nachi, which is Nachi was his old dog, and she was super caring, super loving, and it was just so sweet. And Nachi would occasionally see Jiro hurt, and basically have him bathe her. And while he's bathing her, she would make sure his worries went down the drain as well by the time they're done. And it was just so sweet, man. It sucks that she's probably dead, but damn, man, that was adorable. I love that so much. And Nachi would say that Jiro has the gift of helping people. It's his unique gift, which that is true. That is his unique gift, man. And so meanwhile, moving on, Rago, he was going to leave quietly, of course, because Jiro, he didn't want to drag Jiro into his problems, but he did say he owes him one, which is valid. At least he acknowledges that he does owe him. And so he jumps down. He's still he's healed up, but his like powers are not fully awakened yet, I guess, in a way. But as he's leaving, Jiro's out there sitting down behind him, yawning, and Rago's surprised how he got down there because he was in bed. But then Jiro says he used Kawarimi, which was basically substitution, I guess. At least that's the what I think of it as. But he's like, "Why are you leaving? You're hurt." And Rago's like, "You didn't have to save me. I would have been fine with dying back there." And that's sad. But also, I don't know if I can blame Rago, depending on how long he's been around for. Like sometimes he might just he would be valid just wanting to sleep for good, in a way, depending on how long he's been alive for. And but as Jiro's about to try to stop him, presumably, Rago uh like gets into like a dangerous formation of sorts, like getting like his hackles are raised like a cat, and he's angry. He's like, back off, we're in different worlds. But Jiro, of course, does not stop there, because of course he doesn't, because he's Jiro. But then after that, some dude slash Mononoke shows up and almost kills Jiro, but Rago saves him and then chases then the Mononoke guy chases Rago away, which makes sense. And Jiro realizes just how serious and dangerous Rago's world really is in that moment. And like, honestly, fair enough. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I can talk to animals, yeah, that's cool. But it's another to be like, oh, I can talk to animals and monsters are can try to kill me. It's a valid thought to think about, man. But of course, he goes after them because he's not a coward, surprisingly. But we learn while the big dude is chasing Rago that he's fast. Rago's also a little slower, but he hits Rago hard, and like Rago goes down, but he gets back up. And the big dude, we learn that Rago's name is Rago, but his title is the Black Star of Doom, and he's a legendary Mononoke, which is pretty cool. The dude also says, I call him dude because we don't get a name. I'm just calling him big guy, big dude. Dude says that they worked very hard to break the seal that imprisoned him, and that left me with questions. Why was he imprisoned in the first place? Who imprisoned him? And what exactly, why is he so powerful, considered so powerful, so wanted as his power? And also, why? What made him dangerous in the first place? Like, okay, not in like well, I would like to know all that also, but like more like what prompted people to be like, oh, we should seal him away, is what I'm asking more of. Not what is, I want to know what his power is, obviously, but I want to know, like, what prompted them to seal him away? Assuming he didn't seal himself. He could have sealed himself away. But then, moving on, as they're about to, like, clash again, Jiro intercepts the fight with his giant sword, the family heirloom passed down through the family, and he cuts the big guy, which was kind of impressive with the Azuma family heirloom. And I believe they called it, the grandpa called it the Shinobi Goto. And yeah. And so basically we got a little nice moment between Jiro and Rago where Jiro says that saving someone is never stupid. And he's like, if you die, I saved you for nothing, sort of thing. But yeah. Unfortunately for like literally everyone, Jiro gets stabbed. Not by a sword. No. It couldn't just be stabbed by a little sword. No. He gets stabbed by a giant dude who like became like his real form. Like his like hand or finger or whatever, right through his chest. Like, bro, just a giant hole. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? And he seemingly kills Jiro. But at the same time, Jiro's like, yo, I'm gonna try to counter. He doesn't say it, obviously. He like grits his teeth. And he swings the sword. But the dude is fast, and I spent a minute talking about how I honestly hate, but also love that the guy's actually smart enough to not just stay there. Like, he's like, yo, that was close, impressive, I applaud thee. And like, yeah, that was cool. Let me make sure my phone is not... Okay, my phone still has time, good. And yeah, but he was smart enough to dodge, and I was like, damn. But also, I'm actually kind of cool. I'm actually kind of cool with that, because at least, like, he's smart. Don't get me wrong, I love when we just have, like, big oafs as, like, villains. Like, they're fine. But, like, I love when we have, like, a combat smart enemy like this. I think it's cool. And, but Rago is, like, looking down at the body of Jiro, who's somehow still alive. Keyword there is somehow. And, guy's about to, like, yo, instead of me eating him, you can eat him. I'm sure you're hungry and haven't eaten in a while. But as he's about to say something else, Rago turns and he's like, oi, be quiet, essentially, shut up. And then he's like, you're dead. And like, bro, I got goosebumps, bro. He was pissed. Like, genuinely, Rago was just straight up pissed. And so, Rago is like, you're not dying, man. And so, basically, we got a really sweet moment of him being like, I'll give you my life so that you can live because I owe you one. And so he basically turns into like a shadow powers. I'm guessing that's what his powers are, but there's definitely more to it, right? Like he turns into like whatever his like power is, and then goes inside the chest of the hole where Jiro is, and the mark that was on Rago's back is now on Jiro's back and chest. And that was just a really cool moment of like, this is probably, I don't know if this is like a new territory for Rago saving someone like this, but it's probably a big deal for him being willing to like give his life. But at the same time, we did know that he was like, he would have been fine dying, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I do ask the question though of, is Rago actually dead after this, or is this more like a well, we learned that he fused with Jiro, and at least that's what the big guy says. And so but Jiro like gets back up and he's like, yo, what the fuck happened? And Rago's like, I'll explain everything later, because apparently they're fused, but Rago's still alive, I guess. And so Jiro doesn't know what to do, which valid. But Rago's basically like, just punch him really hard, and I'll lend you a hand. And so Jiro, he winds up, and then he's like, he takes this, and then he punches. But then Rago uses his powers to like create a giant fist, and punches a hole through, the big guy. So it's like eye for eye sort of thing. And then Jiro's like, so that's what you meant by lending a hand? Because he created a giant hand to like punch, which I thought that was kind of funny. But I do wonder, is Rago dead? Well, anyways, meanwhile, moving on. After all said and done, Jiro's about to do something, presumably like move forward, but the girl from before, she holds a katana to his throat, a blade to his neck, and she's like, yo, don't move, don't say a word. And like, that's kind of stupid to say, man. But then a new guy shows up, and boy, is he a 10 out of 10. And he's like, yo, we're from the Bureau of Espionage, and all that stuff. And like, I was like, yo, he looks really cool. I love his design, bro. 10 out of 10 peak, man. Hope we see more of him. But also, it's just so weird to me what's going on. Just like 1 minute, bro's fighting for his life. Next minute, he's having a blade to his neck. Could lose his life. But then handsome guy's like, if you couldn't tell already, we're here to take you with us. But Jiro, rightfully so, might I add, Jiro's like, huh? Why the hell am I going with you? Why the hell would I go with? But then he's knocked out by the girl, who we learned her name is Ichika, and I don't like her. It's hard to put my finger. I still can't quite exactly put my finger on it, but one of the reasons I definitely don't like her is because she's too serious. But I also feel like she's too. The vibe I got was that she's too she's too she thinks she's important in some capacity. And she knocked him out, but I was like, but I thought like Jiro was rightfully angry to be like, yo, like, I'm being taken in, why wouldn't I want to talk? Hold on, be right back. Apologies for that, had to turn battery saver off. But basically, now that he's the handsome guy is like, yo, take it easy, man. But she's like, no. And so now he's like, let's get him to the hospital, call the one of the affiliate hospitals, get him there. Because apparently he's very important to them and to the Mononoke, which leaves me questioning why he's important. And that's where the that's where the ED ends. I did also check out the ED, of course, like the OP and ED. I might get the reaction to the OP out. I'm not quite sure yet. It's a little up in the air for me. But what I am gonna do now is let me pose a question to you. I posted that kind of at the beginning, but let me say it more directly. Would you want the power to talk to animals? Like to be able to understand them, just inherently be able to talk to them and understand them. And they can understand you, obviously. On the surface, I'd say yes, but I don't know if I would fully. Like, because I feel like if you could understand them and talk to them, it it would probably break your heart more if you could understand the animals, like if they're sad and stuff like that, especially if you're like an empath, if you're like very empathetic and like or sympathetic or whatever you want to call it to them, to the plights of like people in need, animals in need, stuff like that. I feel like it could be helpful to be able to talk to them and all that, but I also think it'd be kind of a little sad if you think about it that way as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the comments below. I think I still would take the power to talk to animals and stuff. I just have to like build up my nerves and stuff and try not to be as empathetic, I guess. But that's all I wanted to say. So with that said, as always, check out the Patreon down below for the reaction. You can check it out there. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the episode, the show, as we started it, my thoughts, and answer my question as well. And of course, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, hide the video on YouTube mobile app. And with that said, until next time, my name is Mark. Never stop being yourself. Stay safe there, and I will see all you incredible people in the very next video.